What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Tiberious back again, and today we are going to take a look at the CZ Shadow 2, the very pretty CZ Shadow 2. Three quick things before we dive up close. First, big thanks to my friends over at Ammunition Haven. If you couldn't tell by the name, Ammunition Haven sells ammunition. They're a local company to me right here in Rhode Island, and they have some very good deals on ammo. There will be a link down in the comments if you want to check it out and get yourself a good deal. Not in the description. You got to go down to the comments to grab that link. Second, the Shadow 2 is absolutely positively a competition gun. CZ took their CZ 75 and tricked it out and made it 100% competition ready. Especially now that the Shadow 2 is available with an optics ready cut. This thing is perfect for range days, competitions, anything like that. Third, and certainly not least, at any time during this video, if you think I deserve it, please hook a brother up with a like or a comment, or go ahead and hit those subscribe button. All of those things really help us out. With all that stuff out of the way, let's dive up close. Like all CZ pistols, they come in these nice hard plastic cases. Inside the case, we get the gun. We get 3 magazines, your usual cleaning brushes, usual paperwork accessories. Then over here is some Allen keys, extra barrel bushings, and different safeties. Setting the case aside, let's start with the magazines. It comes with 3 metal magazines that are very nicely made. If you notice on one side, they're marked for 40 Smith & Wesson and the cutouts for 40. And then on the other side, it is marked 9mm with the cutouts for 9mm. So I've never seen that. I don't think I've ever seen that on one magazine before. And if I didn't say it earlier, 17 round magazines. The mag well is beveled a little bit, so it should definitely help you with magazine exchanges, especially if you're using it for competitions. Every little half second definitely counts. The grips, I think, are just damn sexy. I think the blue is absolutely gorgeous. It is available in other colors, but if I was going to buy this pistol, I would get the black one with the blue grips just like this because I love the way it looks. Besides the way it looks, it feels great. It is one of the most comfortable grips that I have ever felt. All CZ75s have good grips, but these are exceptional. These are even better. If you look in the rear here, they're cut away a little different than most CZ75s, and the grip is fantastic. It really lets you get high up on the gun, especially with the undercut or the relief on the trigger guard and the undercut here with the big beaver tail. I mean, this is one of the most comfortable grips I have ever felt. The front has some really good aggressive checkering, along with the rear as well. You have some really nice checkering, so the grip overall is an A+. Nothing I would change on the grip if I could. Magazine release is definitely oversized. It's huge, like you'd expect from a competition-ready gun. One unique feature here, you can back out this screw and slide the magazine release back and forth to help it fit your hands better so you can reach it. So that's a pretty cool feature. If you didn't notice earlier, when you hit that mag release, the mags go flying out, which is also something you would expect and need in a competition gun. The trigger, I looked up on a thesaurus to how to describe this trigger, but I couldn't think of the word. So I'm just going to say sexy, sensational, perfect. It is wonderful. It is as if somebody already sent it to Cajun Gunworks and got upgraded. It is a single action only trigger. You have a safety here, so you carry, you shoot this, carry it, whatever, with the safety on and the hammer cocked. So your take up is that little bit right there, and that break is just so small. And then your reset, that's it. Not bad at all for a reset. As you can hear, it's tactile and audible. So the reset could be slightly shorter, but A++ for the trigger. The trigger is sensational on this gun. As you can see, it has a full-size dust cover, covers the whole gun. There's a good amount of weight up there, which definitely helps you suck up some of that recoil, and it also helps reduce the muzzle rise when you're shooting this gun as well. Underneath that, you see you have a rail. It's a single cutout 1913 rail if you want to add lights, lasers, whatever. As always, I think every gun should have a light. Let's talk about this safety here. The safety is ambi, so it is available on both sides of the gun, and you can replace it if you don't like the setup. But the way it's set up right now, if you're right-handed, this is strong side only. It is a large, oversized safety, tactile, audible, clicks nice. I don't think it should be any easier or any harder. I think it's perfect. Support side, again, assuming you're right-handed, it's much smaller, so it definitely doesn't get in the way. But it is there if you need it. Shooting one-handed, I don't know how often you shoot support hand only in competitions, but it is there if you need it. Slide release back here. Now the slide release is one of the few things that I'm somewhat disappointed with. It's large, it works well, there's no problems, but if you've seen any of my pistol reviews before, you know I use this as a slide release and not the slide stop. And if I can't reach this with the thumb on my strong hand, I'm very hesitant to, well, definitely carry the pistol. This one being it's a competition gun, maybe a little different, but I choose to use this as a slide release and it definitely slows me down. So when you have that safety off, there is absolutely, positively no way I'm reaching that safety, that slide release with my thumb on my support hand. What I was doing when I shot this gun, I put the magazine in, I came up with the thumb on my support hand, send the slide home, and that's how I had to load the gun. Not a huge deal. Take that back. For me, it is a huge deal, and I wouldn't carry or take this gun to competitions probably just because of the slide release, but I am a slide release snob, and I know most people aren't, so take it for what it's worth. Moving back here to the hammer. The hammer is a nice competition style hammer. A little different than most CZ75 hammers if you're familiar with them. I know I mentioned the beaver tail and the trigger guard undercut here, but they are just fantastic. I figured I'd mention them a second time because they are just excellent. Let's talk about the slide. So all CZ75s, the slide rides inside of the frame. So if you see here, the slide poking out of the frame, that's how all of them are set up. The good thing about it is it allows you to get really, really high up on the gun as far as the grip and gives it a super low bore axis. So as far as shooting and accuracy and felt recoil, these guns are fantastic. The disadvantage is the slide is much, much smaller than a standard pistol like a Glock or something like that. So if you're doing malfunctions or if you choose to come over the top like this, to load the gun or to clear malfunctions, there's a lot less to grab onto, and it makes it a little bit harder. One good thing about the Shadow 2 is the rear and the front serrations. It has both. Are much bigger, deeper, and more aggressive than most CZ75s, including the SP01 Tactical that I reviewed recently, and it is better than most CZ75 variants, but it is a little bit more challenging than most guns and definitely something you want to be aware of. Moving on up to the sights. Sights are definitely competition style sights. As you can see, the rear is just a blacked out solid black rear sight, and the front is a very small bright red fiber optic sight, and they are fantastic to pick up at the range. I shot the gun really, really fast, probably faster than my skills should have allowed me to shoot. Taking all these guns apart are very, very easy. Back here you're going to see two little cutouts. I have them lined up now right there. We're going to line those two cutouts up. We're going to push in this takedown button, which is connected to the slide release, slide stop, and that's going to pull right out. So to do this, probably going to have to cover some of the gun. I'll do my best to let you see as much as possible. I have those two lined up. I'm going to use the corner of the magazine to push that button through, and then come back over here, pull that slide stop out, and then the slide will just go forward for us, maybe. Then in here it has a stainless steel guide rod. It comes that way with the recoil spring and the barrel bushing, and then the barrel itself is huge. It is a 4.8 inch match grade barrel, and like all CZ barrels, they are excellent. and can outshoot me any day of the week. Inside the slide, very, very clean, no tool marks, great finishing. I don't think I've ever seen a CZ that was rough and cut and ugly. They all seem to be very nicely finished on the inside. Now, as far as your dimensions here, again, these are big, heavy guns. We're talking like 8.5 inches long, 46 ounces, 46.5 ounces unloaded. So they are big, they are heavy. Compare that to a Glock 17, for example. It's more than twice the weight. It's more than 1 inch long. It's a very, very big gun. MSRP is $13.49. That's without the optics cut. If you want the optics cut version, it is more expensive, and you can find them for less. That's just the MSRP. So obviously look around and find yourself a deal. Alright, as far as pros, this is a 100% competition ready gun out of the box. You do not need to do anything. CZ took their great controls of the CZ75 and they made them better in every way on the Shadow 2. The grip is great, trigger is amazing, love the slide release, I love the magazine release, and the sights are excellent as well. As far as cons, I have two things. It's very difficult to reach the slide release when the safety is off. Unless you have gigantic thumbs, you're probably going to need to readjust your grip to reach that slide release, assuming you use it as a slide release. Number two, all the CZ75s, the slide is very, very small on them. It makes them a pleasure to shoot. They point very natural. You can get a very high up grip with that low bar access. The disadvantage is if you're loading the gun using the slingshot method, like that, or if you're clearing malfunctions, there's not much slide to grab onto, so it can be a little bit more challenging. As far as uses, the obvious one is going to be competitions. We've said that a million times already in this video. This is a perfect competition gun. I guess you could also use it for home defense. It's big, it's heavy, it has an amazing trigger, high capacity, has a spot for a light, so you can definitely use it for home defense as well. One more time, let me say thank you to my friends over at Ammunition Haven. They lent us this gun for the review. It is greatly appreciated. If you want, check out the link in the comments and you can get yourself a sweet, sweet deal on some ammo. One more time, if you think I deserve it, please hook a brother up with a like or a comment or hit that subscribe button. Hell, if you're feeling froggy today, go ahead and hook me up with all three. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.